A tale of forbidden love beyond time. The storm raged beyond the cracked skylight, wind howling like some ancient beast desperate to claw its way inside. Yet, within the confines of an old subterranean military bunker, a different storm was brewing, one made not of nature, but of ambition, obsession, and the hunger to defy the very fabric of reality. Mike adjusted his glasses, the lenses catching the flicker of cobalt light from the console in front of him. His lab was an orchestra of glowing panels, dangling wires, and machines that pulsed with a hum that seemed to synchronize with the beating of his own heart. Scrawled formulae covered every inch of the grimy whiteboards, mingling with arcane diagrams, gravitational tensors, and fractal geometries. For years, he had labored in secret, mocked by academia, dismissed as a dreamer, a madman. But tonight was different. Before him stood the temporal oscillator, a sleek construct of interwoven alloys and shimmering quantum filaments, anchored by a gyroscopic core that bent light itself. A machine that, if his calculations were correct, could fracture the river of time. His hands trembled, not with fear, but exhilaration, as he input the temporal coordinates. Not to the past, not to rewrite history, but forward, into the unknown, into the future. He exhaled. Fingers hovered over the ignition. To those who said it was impossible, he whispered to no one, "Watch me." A surge of gravitational compression filled the room. The air grew heavier, denser, as though the very atmosphere resisted what he was about to do. Then, he pressed it. A blinding arc of cerulean light exploded from the core. The world twisted. Space itself folded in on him. Every sound stretched into eternity. Colors imploded into hues that had no name. Reality fragmented. And then, silence. When the vertigo subsided, Mike staggered forward, boots crunching against an unfamiliar crystalline surface. Gone was the bunker. Gone were the trees, the cities, the clouds of his time. In their place stood towering structures that spiraled like seashells into the sky, vast spires of organic metal and translucent polymers. Hovering platforms zipped between them, adorned with holographic banners written in languages both familiar and utterly alien. Above, the sky shimmered not blue, but a deep amethyst, streaked with silver auroras. Strange constellations hung where familiar stars should have been. But it wasn't the architecture that stole the air from his lungs. It was the people, or rather, the beings. The streets were alive with forms both humanoid and otherwise. Tall, elegant figures with skin that shimmered like mercury. Others bore exoskeletal plating, their limbs jointed in ways that defied anatomy. There were humans too, but subtly different. Some had iridescent eyes, bioluminescent tattoos pulsing beneath translucent skin. Others moved with a grace that was unmistakably augmented. Digital billboards flickered above him. United Species Alliance, Earth Sector 7. Peace through diversity, celebrating 234 years of integration. Mike spun slowly, his mind a whirlwind of disbelief. What year is this? He muttered, but no answer came. Only the echo of footsteps, and then something else. A presence. She stood at the edge of a levitating garden, framed by cascading streams of water that seemed to fall upwards as much as down. The moment Mike's eyes met hers, time itself faltered. Her figure was slender yet powerfully poised, as though sculpted from living crystal. Her skin shimmered a deep obsidian overlaid with veins of emerald and violet that pulsed gently beneath the surface. Hair, if it could be called that, flowed in strands of liquid light, constantly shifting hues between sapphire and gold. Her eyes were unlike anything Mike had ever seen. Large, almond-shaped, glowing with a bioluminescent amber, pupils vertical and slitted like a feline's, yet infinitely deeper. As if staring into them might reveal the birth of galaxies. She tilted her head slightly, regarding him. Her full lips curved into a smile, enigmatic, curious, dangerously captivating. Her voice was a harmonic resonance, layered, as though multiple versions of her spoke from slightly different planes of existence. Do not belong to this timeline. Mike's throat dried instantly. He opened his mouth, but words failed him. There was something magnetic about her presence, an invisible pull that made his heartbeat pound in his ears. She approached, her movements fluid, hypnotic, like liquid silk poured over muscle and grace. You are an anomaly. She continued, circling him. How fascinating. I don't. What are you? He finally managed to stammer. She stopped, just inches from him. A faint scent lingered around her, like ozone, wildflowers, and something indescribably alien. My name is Sailaya, she said. I am Veirelis. She gestured to the sky. My people fled the collapse of Xanthera. We came here to survive. Her eyes softened. But you are something far more dangerous than any war. You should not exist here. In the hours that followed, Sailaya led Mike through the underbelly of this future Earth, away from the gleaming towers and into the shadows beneath, a labyrinth of forgotten tunnels, abandoned conduits, and biometric vaults. As they walked, she explained, centuries ago, Earth had become a refuge, not just for humanity's descendants, but for dozens of alien species displaced by interstellar wars, cosmic cataclysms, and the slow death of distant suns. The old nations fell. In their place, the United Species Alliance rose. But peace was never perfect. Hidden beneath this utopia was the Council of Temporal Integrity, an organization devoted to preserving the timeline. To them, Mike was not merely a visitor, he was an existential threat. Temporal anomalies are forbidden, Sailaya murmured, fingers trailing against a wall etched with glowing sigils. If they find you, they will erase you. Entirely. Not just from here, but from every moment you've ever existed. Mike clenched his fists. But I only wanted to see the future. I didn't mean. She turned sharply, placing a hand over his mouth. Her fingers were warm, yet subtly textured, like silk over fine scales. Sure, she whispered. Listen. Distantly, mechanical footsteps. Voices. Anomaly detected. Commence phase lock. Mike's heart raced. Sailaya grabbed his hand. Run. They sprinted through caverns lit by bioluminescent moss and broken circuitry. Behind them, shadows closed in, humanoid figures clad in exo-armor, their helmets crowned with spinning gyroscopes and glowing chronometric runes. At the edge of a precipice, Sailaya stopped. Beneath them stretched a cavern filled with crystalline formations, each shard humming with temporal energy. Symbols older than any known civilization glowed faintly. This is a chrononexus, she said breathlessly. A place where time folds, and where the past, future, and possibility intersect. Mike stepped forward, mesmerized. What happens if we step inside? Her eyes met his, and for the first time, there was vulnerability. I don't know. A moment hung between them, fraught with danger, uncertainty, and undeniable attraction. Slowly, inevitably, Mike reached for her hand. She did not pull away. If we jump, he whispered. We jump together. She finished. And with that, they leapt. As their bodies dissolved into spirals of light and fractals of collapsing probability, a voice echoed, deep, mechanical, ancient. Anomaly breach detected. Dimensional collapse imminent. Initiate multiversal lockdown. Then, darkness. Or something beyond it. Darkness. Not the kind born of the absence of light, but a deeper void, a space between existence itself. Here, reality wasn't solid. It pulsed, fluctuating in waves of probability, color, and sound that made no sense to any mortal mind. Mike floated. Or did he fall? Up was down, left was right, existence was nothing. His body stretched into infinite copies, then collapsed into a singular point. Flashes of memories, his childhood, his first day at university, the moment he powered the machine, all shattered and reassembled like a kaleidoscope under pressure. And then, he felt her. A warm touch, a presence anchoring him amidst the maelstrom of unreality. Mike, her voice reached him, gentle yet commanding, cutting through the chaos like a blade of silver light. Focus on me. Hold on. His fingers reached through the storm and met hers. The instant their skin connected, a surge of energy burst outward. Threads of reality coalesced, snapping back into form. A doorway appeared before them, an arch of glowing glyphs, shifting geometries, and flowing currents of chronomagnetic light. Without thinking, they crossed. When their vision cleared, they stood in a place unlike any world known to man or alien. An endless expanse stretched before them, an open garden of colossal crystalline trees, whose roots floated over an abyss of swirling galaxies. Rivers of liquid starlight meandered between floating islands. Creatures, beings of pure fractal energy, radiant moths the size of whales, serpentine shapes made of plasma, drifted silently, unaware or uncaring of the trespassers. CHRONOS exhaled slowly, her luminous hair floating in the stillness as though underwater. This is the nexus beyond time. She whispered, a place that shouldn't exist. Mike spun in awe. Are we dead? No, she replied, voice laced with wonder. Worse or better? This is where timelines meet, where realities fracture or are born. As they walked cautiously, glyphs appeared beneath their feet, reacting to their presence. Echoes of voices whispered around them, versions of themselves, possible futures, lost pasts. A voice, his own, but older, graver. Turn back, before you become what you fear. CHRONOS gripped his hand tighter. Ignore it. These are only echoes, unless we make them real. But something else stirred. A presence. Watching. Ancient. Vast. From the depths of the garden emerged a figure, humanoid, yet composed entirely of shifting clockwork, star matter, and shadow. Its face was a mask of spinning gears, its eyes twin black holes. It spoke with a voice that was both thunder and whisper. You are the fracture, the anomaly, the kiss that was never meant to be. The being towered over them, yet didn't move aggressively, merely observed, studied. I am the custodian, it declared. Warden of the temporal accord. Guardian of the nexus. You have violated the prime directive of causality. Mike stepped forward, chest pounding. I didn't mean to. I just wanted to see. See? The custodian's laugh was like glass shattering. In seeing, you altered. In touching, you changed. In loving, its gaze turned to CHRONOS. You doomed entire threads of existence. CHRONOS bared her teeth, a gesture both human and distinctly virilis. We did nothing wrong. No law forbids connection or love. The custodian tilted its head. No, but it has consequences. It extended a hand, and before them opened 1,000 windows, each a universe, a timeline. Some showed Earth flourishing in harmony, others in ruins, others still overrun by machines, by wars, by silence. One in particular caught Mike's eye, a version where the United Species Alliance never formed, where Earth stood alone and was conquered. This is the ripple, the custodian intoned. Your presence here altered the meeting of two diplomats 300 years from your time. A misstep, a misunderstanding, a war. Mike's knees buckled. No, no, this can't be. CHRONOS knelt beside him, hands on his shoulders. Her voice softened. This is not just your fault. I should have never, her breath trembled, should have never allowed myself to feel. Their foreheads touched, energy rippling between them. But we did. Mike whispered, and I wouldn't undo it, not even now. The custodian's gears ground louder, as if struggling with its own decision. One choice remains. It announced, "You may return. I will rewrite your entry into this time. You will forget her. Forget all of this. The timeline will correct. The war will not happen." Mike's breath caught, his heart wrenched. "Oh." "All," the custodian continued, "you may keep what you have. Keep her. Keep this bond. But in doing so, you will become outcasts. Exiles beyond time. Hunted. Forever outside the threads of causality. Never belonging, but never forgotten." Silence. Sailaya's eyes brimmed with bioluminescent tears. "Mike," she whispered, "if you choose to forget me, I will understand." He turned, cupped her face in his trembling hands. "I would rather burn with you beyond the stars than live a life where you never existed to me." A shudder passed through the nexus. "Then so be it," the custodian decreed. A glyph burned into the skin of both their wrists, a mark of the outcasts. A key, a curse, a freedom. The garden collapsed into fractals of silver dust. And the chase began. To be continued.